The therapists at Next Step were unlike any therapist I've worked with in the past in my recovery. Instead of being told what I can't do, they were telling me that I can do anything if I put my mind to it and with the right attitude. And then they took the time to ask me what I wanted for myself and my bigger goals. And then they made a list of smaller goals to reach so I can accomplish the bigger picture that I wanted for myself in my life. And they also offered all the equipment that no other gyms or therapies that I went to offered. The LT, for example, locomotor training, the consistency of walking, the aggressiveness, yet they still really cared about slow and controlled movements. Nobody else offered that. Also, they offered guided exercise, which really helped make the mind-body connections that I needed to overcome my paralysis, especially my lower body extremities. Nobody else offered the guided exercise. And then they were open to telling me suggestions, different, whenever I was working out in the gym during free time. They would come over and be like, hey, Nolan, try this exercise, or you work the front of your body too much, you should focus on your back. So they're always there to spend time with me, even when I wasn't on the LT. If I was just hanging out, they would come assist me and ask me if I needed help. Anything that I needed to make progress and move forward in my recovery, they were always there for me. And without Next Step, I would not be where I am in my recovery. No way. I would be still bedridden and looking for a place that had the LT, who had the guided exercise, who had the staff who would uplift me instead of bring me down. And due to this quarantine, I've been really affected by the services that everyone else provided. I'm affected because the gyms are closed. The physical therapies, they're all closed. The pool that I go to for water therapy, closed. Everyone is closed. But the great thing that Next Step did for me was that they created homework for me when I left Next Step right before the close. They made a list of everything that I needed to work on in order to reach my goals in my recovery, and told me, hey, I'm gonna email this to you. So when I got the list, I continued my recovery program even when they were closed. My recovery program was in my email. I got it, so I practiced it every day, all my therapies. And that's a service that nobody else offered me. All the therapies, every therapist office, nobody ever offered to email me a homework sheet so I can keep up with my recovery even when the recovery center is closed. Also, another thing they do to help me during this quarantine is they keep up with me on Instagram or various social media platforms. They'll message me, hey, I challenge you to do 100 push-ups, 10 push-ups, anything. They'll just send me these challenges. Or Brandon Childs, the assistant director, he'll send me a message and be like, here's a list of homework, here's homework for you. Or he'll even see my workouts on my Instagram and say, hey, you're doing great. However, push more through your toes when you're standing and less through your heels. And everything that I post on social media, they critique me. They give me positive feedback and say, for the homework that I gave you, you're doing it well, but you can improve it by doing this. So even though Next Step is closed due to quarantine, my recovery hasn't stopped. They keep giving me homework, they keep giving me advice, and it's going very well. And that is something that no other therapist I've ever worked with has done for me. So the quarantine is unfortunate. However, there's still opportunity to recover. And at the end of the day, it's all you. What you put into your recovery is what you'll get out of it. So I encourage you to give Next Step a chance and look them up at nextstepfitness.org.